I haven't found anything broken other than the couple bulbs on here. So I thought this had a CV on it the entire time. After looking at it, it does not have a CV. It is a bottom breather Evo 89, kind of makes sense, but it's not a CV, it's a butterfly, which means, actually it doesn't really mean anything. This will fire right up and run on choke. I will show you right now with the crappy gas that's in it. If we go to ignition, on, run, and start. If I crank this enough, sometimes this switch works, but it's extremely intermittent. So we got like a little relay issue going to the starter, but thank God for the cheater button, which is tapped in directly to the battery. And make sure the choke is on because it's not right now. If I go full choke, this thing's gonna rev up to 4 grand, but runs like a top with the choke on. Takes throttle really well with the choke on. But accelerator pump's not working and it's dead in the interim. So this just needs a quick carb clean. So I think what I'm gonna do is click this gas valve off, or the petcock back to off, and kill the ignition here. We'll click the petcock off. I'm gonna pull this carb real quick, blow out that idle jet, and then I might actually have a accelerator pump diaphragm over there, because I didn't ride this yet. I'm not worried about riding it, but it doesn't really make sense to overly try and drive this down the road, knowing that it runs and all the other circuits are working. Logically, in my head, it doesn't make sense to try and putz it down the road and worry about breaking down and then trying to limp it back home, if I can avoid it, because this is not a fun bike to push. But that's where we're at. So let me grab some tools. We'll pull this carb off, do a quick clean on that, slap all that back together, throw the air cleaner back on. Hopefully we can get this thing actually running, riding, and idling on its own. Maybe we'll do a quick ride. I don't know how much more daylight we have. Clouds are kind of rolling in, but we got a swap meet tomorrow, so I don't want to be out too late. But I would like to actually try and ride this thing. It doesn't get any better than that. I was expecting maybe we'll be able to get it fired up and running. Planned on pulling a carb, planned on putting a battery in. I wasted a bunch of time trying to figure out how to take the seat off. I didn't realize. Granted, the bags were on it the first couple times I looked at it, but I should have pulled the bags and then looked to see what it needs. But let's get that carburetor off. So we'll pull those breathers and the carb bracket support mount off, get that off, go around to the other side, undo the choke cable, yank the carb off, drop the bowl, and then honestly, I might just leave this here. Like, I don't think I'm gonna pull the carb, I'll pull it off, but I think we'll try and just clear out those jets on the bike instead of trying to do a full carb rebuild teardown, because this does not need it. It's taking throttle really well. And once we get this off the intake, I think we'll be all right. See how this goes. Cue up that music though, because that's what I want to do, is listen to music. And if I do that, you guys, this whole process, and then I get yelled at for copyright things. Cue time lapse. As expected, I'm sitting here working on the ground. Look at this. No bench, no nothing. The idle jet was completely clogged, so I ended up having to run my wire brush through there because the actual indoor wire stranded was too big. But that poked through. Now we're getting a nice good stream through there. I also fixed the accelerator pump. That was clogged on the jet on the end of the accelerator pump that comes up through the bowl. Blew brake clean through there. Once it started flowing, I didn't put a new diaphragm because it was soft. The only thing I got left, I've been wrestling around with this. It took me forever to get this throttle cable set up back in because I didn't pull the tanks and I didn't hook it on before I fully seated it, nor did I take the intakes off. Normally, on a setup like this, I would pull these two bolts. There's two bolts, top and bottom, on these butterfly style carbs. But in order to get access to those, I have to pull off the horn and the carburetor support bracket and a bunch of stuff on the other side. So I struggled. It probably would have been faster to take off the bolts on the other side, get that wide open, and then it's just a quick little removal of those two bolts, and the whole carb slides off. Would have been way easier, and I wouldn't have had to wrestle the carb back into the rubber intakes, especially on older stuff like this, where most of the time, those rubber boots, these have, it's Evo style, where it is a Allen bolt across each, which is fitting for being an Evo, but it's also, it's not like the shovelhead where it's got to be a press fit, or the O-ring, or even the rubber bands. It's more like a Jap bike, where there's two rubber intake boots, front, rear, but you got to get the intake back in there. If this was a bike that was stored outside for as many years as it has been, sitting, rather, as many years as it's been sitting, that probably would not have worked. But when I pulled this out of there, all the rubber is extremely soft and everything feels very good. Otherwise, I wouldn't have tried it that way. But we got that through. Carb is back in, clamps are tightened. It's gonna dance a little until we put the brackets. This guy, it's important. But I need to find the little choke bolt. I lost the little tiny screw. It dropped down. I thought it went underneath the bike, but no, it did. Just kidding. I couldn't find this. It's the last piece I got to get back in there, but I'm probably going to need, let me loosen this choke. Man, I would have sworn that this thing was going to have a CV on it. I really would have preferred that, actually. If this came with a CV, he'd be in great shape, but early Evo, so I guess this is kind of the in-betweeners. Let me grab my shorty little Phillips. Hopefully that's short enough to fit underneath the tank, because I don't want to have to take anything else apart. I know I'm staying up here way later than I wanted to, but I want this done and running and riding. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow. If we get done with the swap, maybe I'll do a quick little cruise on this thing. So I don't know what got filmed or what was covered when we were working on this when my buddies came. But I tell you what, man, this bike would have been too heavy for me to unload solo. Dottie wouldn't have helped me because it is extremely heavy and she doesn't want to take on the liability of messing that up. So I do appreciate that. And most of my buddies that are close that I would rely on for something like that are currently out of town. So I hit up my buddy Scrapper Dan. You've seen him in a ton of videos, I think. And he was with some other people and they came out right away, like instantly. I didn't even have a chance to go to the gas station like I planned on. And then they show up and we start hanging out, shooting the shit, looking over this gem of a bike, and their mindset's the same as mine. Think it'll run? Let's see what happens. And then lo and behold, a couple hours of finagling, and not even hours, handful of minutes of finagling around, and you end up with a running motorcycle. We all kind of diagnosed what's going on with this thing simultaneously, which is nice. So used to doing stuff by myself up here. It is a nice Genuinely, it is a nice switch having some buddies come over that also appreciate the old bikes and the old junk like this and want to get it going and get some feedback and input. And at the end of the day, we got ourselves a runner. Now, on the other end of that, I think a lot of them wanted to see me just jump on and rip it up the road and see how it goes. I know that it's not idling. I know that it's gonna die. And I don't really feel like taking on more work, nor do I want this thing to like go, you know, 30 feet down the road and then sputter out and die, and then I gotta deal with pushing it back. I don't care enough. As soon as we got it fired up and running, and it's running really well with the choke, but not running at all. What am I doing? Why am I not just grabbing a socket? Running with the choke and not running without the choke, it's the idle circuit. And lo and behold, we rip it apart. Guess what's clogged? The idle circuit. So this little bit of time that it took me, I don't know how long this is. I'll look at the camera because that was all time lapsed. I don't know, 15, 20, 30 minutes or something. And that's me wrestling it the hard way because I didn't want to take parts off. All right, we got a carb. We got some intake boots. We got carb on here. Just throw that air cleaner back on too, just because. I don't remember where I put that. Left it right here. K&N. OG K&N. It's a different brand of special at this point in the day, I'm not gonna lie. Been up and at 'em since early morning. Couldn't sleep last night thinking about this stupid thing, as ridiculous as that sounds. I slept, but fell asleep early, woke up early. It was like 20 minutes to somewhere between 20 minutes and an hour of sleep. I woke up like 9 times, knowing that I didn't want to oversleep and miss this thing. Not that it really would have mattered all that much, because I was up and at 'em and still had plenty of time to mess around this morning. But I was also trying to figure out which bike to bring. Ideally, in a perfect world, this bike is 100% ready to go to the swap meet tomorrow morning. I just do not have enough time. Now, realistically, I shouldn't jam all this back together yet. I should test it first, but I think I'm feeling pretty good about this one. So, let's see what happens. But this is ready to bring to the swap and sell tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna be selfish and hold on to this for a minute and see what happens. So, there's that. Turn that gas on and see if this thing will actually run now. Carb is back on, covers are back on. We should be good now. Idle jet was definitely fully clogged. Like, that took way longer than I thought to clean that out. Also, tried wrestling all of the parts off without taking things apart in order. So if you look, I got the horn turned this way. That's only turned because I thought I had to pull this off. Leave the intakes on if you can. My gut suggestion, it's not worth trying to pull those intakes off and risk ripping the boots like I just did. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's less stuff to take off, but it takes longer to wrestle things back together. But anyways, let's click this back onto reserve. Man, this petcock works and it's not leaking, but it is stiff. Maybe we can lube that up a little bit and work it. Work it, work it, work it, right? I don't know if that's an internal or an external, but a little leverage and it's fine. It's not leaking. But reserve on, reserve on, reserve on. Let's go to reserve. Let's go to choke. key on, one position. Let's turn our volume down so we don't get monetized here, because I assume you guys want to hear this thing fire up. I'll even sit on it this time. Oh, look at this king of the road. God, this thing's heavy. And the switch worked. Full choke is idling at about 3,200. Is this what I get for being confident? Shit on. Cheater button it is. Now we are running this on ancient gasoline. I really want to throw some fresh fuel in here. I don't think there's a fuel filter on there, so I might have just reclogged it. I can't tell the condition of the tank. I mean, the tank doesn't look that bad at all, but I think I'm going to run out and go get fresh gas now. And we'll just let this kind of run and idle and warm up a little bit. I'll throw some more seat foam in there. I haven't put plugs in. This is the factory plugs that it came with. Got the horn working now. Left blinker. Right blinker. Neutral light's working. Oil pressure light went off like it's supposed to. Oh, the high beam is working. It's just very dull. High beam. Neutral. Radio. Does anybody know how to turn one of these off? I know I'm younger than this bike is, but I don't know how to turn it off. Then we get the fun switch. Party lights. And we got a light down here. So I'm guessing 2 bulbs on this tour pack. We'll have to fix those ones, but that'll probably work. Really just trying to warm this thing up a little bit and see if it'll run without choke. God, that sounds super healthy. Minus the, you know, revving out and dying. that idle just needs to be turned up. I think it's running on choke without running on choke. I don't know. I can't tell yet. So let's see if we can pop the cover off. Let's see if I can tweak this a little bit. I mean, I know it's revved up for choke on, but we'll kind of see. I mean, I did just clear this carb, so it should idle. I just can't tell where this was at before. Choke on. So we cleared the carb out, we got that fixed. It won't run without the choke, but watch this on that back intake boot. Intake leak. Major intake leak. What's up, guys? Right in the early morning. It's like 41 degrees, 42 degrees. It's getting chilly. Fall is coming. But we're off to the swap meet. So I got the big trailer loaded up. Got the Cowie in there. I decided not to bring the Evo, the new Ultra Classic that we picked up yesterday. It is running fine on choke, but it needs intake boots real bad. And will not run when you turn the choke off, even though we went through and cleared out the idle jet. So one of two things happened. One, there's some crap in the 9-10-year-old gas that we're still running that on. Two, the intake leaks are that bad where it won't actually idle, which is probably why it's running on choke at 4,000 RPMs. I hate intake leak issues. It's the first thing you got to check before you start doing any other tuning other than the clogged jet. So I got it to clear up. I mean, it takes throttle great. I think the accelerator pump's working. We'll check that when we get back up there, hopefully later today. But goal for today, try and unload this Kawasaki. Maybe. I got the extra gas bottle hooked up. I didn't throw the tank on it. I have all the parts with me. I have the title with me, but we'll at least be able to show people that it runs and it has working brakes-ish. So, not trying to get a lot for it, you know, just around, I don't know, 700, 800, 900 bucks or something I would be happy with. But we will see how today goes. October swap is usually the last one of the year and usually one of the bigger ones of the year. Don't know exactly what you're gonna get, but I know I got a bunch of buddies that are not gonna be there today, traveling and vacations and things, but bring you guys along. We'll see how it goes.